Given today's weather, this might be a bit of a stretch, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. Now, actually, for us in California, this one is more appropriate. Malakaliki Maka is a wise way to say Merry Christmas to you. So here we are in the last week of Advent, the last week before Christmas, and many people are dreaming. Bing Crosby dreamed of a white Christmas. In the song Merry Christmas, Darling, Karen Carpenter dreams. I can dream, and in my dreams, I'm Christmasing with you. Soldiers in war-torn parts of the world might find new meaning in that wonderful World War II song, I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. So my question for you this morning is, what are you dreaming about this last week of Advent? What are you dreaming about? Some of you are dreaming about the presents that you want Santa to bring you. Some of you are dreaming about the new Call of Duty video game that you just know is going to be under the tree. Some of you are dreaming about your college acceptance letter that will soon be coming out. Some of you are dreaming that 2023 will be better financially than 2022. Some of you are dreaming that you will find a doctor that will finally cure what's wrong with you. Some of you are dreaming that your children will thrive, that your family will reconcile, or at least that they'll be nice to each other at Christmas this year. Some of you are dreaming that this is a time that God will feel closer, or that you will look thinner, or that you will win the lottery next week. Clearly, sadly, no one from St. Anthony's won the Mega Millions lottery this week. If someone had, and they had given me some money, I would have at least considered canceling the second collection. I would have considered it. Joseph and Mary had dreams too. And I bet that their dreams were a lot like yours. Because for Joseph and Mary, their dreams probably focus on married life and family life. When we meet Joseph and Mary in today's gospel, they are engaged. And according to Jewish customs, once a couple was officially engaged, they were in fact legally married. But it was also the custom that they would announce the engagement first, and then they would wait up to a year before they actually start to live together in the same house as husband and wife. And so when we meet Mary and Joseph in today's gospel, they are engaged. That is, they are legally married already, but they are not living together yet. In that waiting time, I bet that both of them are dreaming about what it's going to be like to start their married life together, dreaming about their future, dreaming about what it will be like when they start having their own children, what it will be like to teach their children their Jewish faith that they cherish so much, dreaming about how they will raise their children to be good people and watch them mature. Mary and Joseph have started to dream about their future together. And all of that is great because dreams are wonderful until we encounter Joseph in today's gospel, because something has gone terribly wrong. Mary has told him that she is with child. And make no mistake about it, this is a scandal, because the Jewish scriptures said that if a woman is with child before she and her husband are living under the same roof, then she is guilty of adultery. And one text of the Old Testament says that she should be stoned to death for the scandal. This is not what Joseph planned. This is not what Joseph dreamed. His dream has turned into a nightmare. Now Joseph decides that he's not going to expose Mary to the harshness of the religious laws. He decides to divorce her quietly. That is, he's going to legally break the engagement without the public fuss. Now I want you to imagine Joseph's emotions that night as this whole horrible scenario came crashing down around him. His plans have been pulled out from under him. His dream has been torn apart. Does he toss and turn as he goes to bed that night, finding it hard to sleep? And then finally, when he does fall asleep, Joseph discovers something that he couldn't have predicted. Matthew's gospel tells us that while Joseph slept, Joseph had a dream. And in that dream, Joseph is assured that this situation is not the nightmare that he thought it was. Joseph's dreams for his family will not come true. But during this dark night, Joseph learns that God has another dream for him, that God has another dream for Joseph and Mary, and for the child whom they will name Jesus. And here comes what I think is often the hardest part for us human beings. Joseph has to let go of his dream for his life so that he can embrace the dream that God has for him. Joseph has to trust that God's plan for his life is the one that will bring him blessings, even though it is not the plan, it is not the dream that he had come up with himself. Joseph has to trust that his own dream for his life was in fact too small, and God has a dream for him and his family that's much bigger and so much more wonderful than Joseph could even grasp at this moment. On that night, in that dream that we hear about in today's gospel, Joseph learns again that God is God and that he is not God, and that we should not be afraid when our dreams get turned around. The angel says to Joseph in his dream, "Do not be afraid." But how does Joseph trust, even when his whole future seems to be unraveling before him? I would like to suggest that Joseph's trust is based on one word in today's gospel, and that word is Emmanuel. That word Emmanuel means God is with us. God is with us. God is with me. God is with you. God is with us always and everywhere. And if God is with us, then how can we be afraid? Is there anyone or anything in this universe more powerful than our God? Not to my knowledge. And if that God is with me, how can I let fear control me? God is Emmanuel. God is with us. And that God has a dream for you and for me. God has a dream for our parish. And God's dream for our parish is bigger than we can ever imagine. God's dream is that we will help to create a redeemed world following the example of Jesus. God's dream is that we will be so faithful to Christ and his gospel that his gospel will take flesh here and now. God's dream for us is wonderful, and it is described in the gospel. God's dream for us is that we will create a world in which we forgive 70 times 7 times. God's dream is that we will love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us. God's dream is that we understand that whenever we feed the hungry, or clothe the naked, or care for the poor, or visit the sick, we are doing these things for Christ. God's dream is that we will pray without ceasing, that we will not kill, that we will not steal, that we shall not covet. God's dream is that we will understand finally that we cannot serve God and money. God's dream is that kindness and compassion is at the core of our hearts, that we will be faithful to our promises and faithful to each other and faithful to Christ. God is Emmanuel. God is with us in Christ. And this God who is with us has a dream for us in Christ. But let us now go back to that hard part for us human beings. Are we willing to let God do the dreaming for us? Which means that we may have to let go of the dream that we have concocted for ourselves and trust that God's dream is always bigger and always bring greater blessings than the ones that we come up with in our sleep. Friends, we are dreaming about a lot of things this Christmas. Some of our dreams in 2022 have not come true. Some of our dreams may feel like they have turned into nightmares. But pay attention, because this is the season when God shows us that He has a new dream for us. So as the angel said to Joseph, and as the angel said to Mary, and as the angel will say to the shepherds, do not be afraid. Trust, as Joseph and Mary did, that God can lead us to that life, to that place that will bring us great joy. And whenever life causes you to toss and turn at night, let your prayer be that one word from today's gospel: Emmanuel. God is with me. God is with you.